Hello everybody, here is the CJ5 SnowBlower Jeep body. I've got the sandblasting done yesterday. It was a pretty nice day, but then the rain and the showers moved in. You see how gray it is out there. Hard to get any painting done when it's raining and humid and damp every day, but I was able to squeeze in some sandblasting. And you're looking at the epoxy prime body, and what I did was tint the primer, the epoxy primer, so it would be a more of a red color. I like to tint the primer whenever I can. This is just the first coat. There's going to be some body filler on here and then primer over that and stuff, but I like to keep all the colors kind of the same. It's not super necessary with the modern paints, they cover so well, but I still like to do it. So it's this weird kind of pinkish rose color right now, and the underside, the inside, everywhere is got epoxy primer on it. Now I've got some filler work to do on the side panels. There's some areas that need some attention. But nothing crazy. I've got a few patches that need to be addressed. I think you remember the whole entire gutter here was rotted out. I've got that kind of close to being finished. And we're coming along pretty good. I can't do any finish painting right now because it looks like the next week is going to be super humid and damp and rainy. But I could get some filler work done and some sealer and some primer and stuff like that. I'm not going to shoot any finished paint. You know, I've got that other CJ5 body to paint, that light blue color. That's going to be single stage. This particular body here is going to be a base coat, clear coat. And if anybody's interested in seeing the process, let me know and I can show you step by step. But if nobody's really interested in seeing the painting process, I'll just skip over it. It's kind of a pain to set up and show it or go over the steps. So a little feedback would be appreciated. If you want to see it, just send me a comment and let me know. Otherwise today I'm going to do just a little bit of filler work, smooth things out a bit, and there's a lot of controversy over that, but the best way to do it is to put your epoxy primer down first. No filler on bare metal. It'll just cause a little rust patch under there when it heats up and cures. So epoxy primer, filler, sand everything out, I'll seam seal everything, and then we'll go over with an epoxy sealer and then some regular 2K or maybe some high build primer, block sand that out, and then get ready for our base. So there's a lot of steps. Just want to show you where I'm at, let you know what's happening, and more to follow. I'll be back with you in just a little bit and show you the next step here. Okay guys, the first thing I like to do after the epoxy primer and before any type of filler work or anything is seal all the seams. This is not something they did at the factory, and it really hurt the vehicles. You've got seams like this right here along the wheelhouse and the rear floor, both sides. Let me see if I can get you in here. You got seams between the side panel and the wheelhouse on top, and these are all areas. You know, when I put this together, I put that weldable primer in between all the seams here. But it's just not enough, you know, from if you're out in the weather, even if you wash it, that could do a lot of harm. Water could get in there, it just sits in there and just starts rusting things out. So, although it's not original, I do it on my restorations for vehicle preservation, and I've had good luck with it. And what I use for that, let's see if I can get you in here. I use this 3M Fast and Firm seam sealer. I don't necessarily like to use the urethane type sealers. They get a little too hard and they can crack over time. This has been one I've used for many years. Had good luck. You can find it just about anywhere out on the internet. It is a little pricey, between $25 and $30 a tube, but well worth it. And lay that in the seams. Tool it off with your finger, and I like to do that first because I don't like any junk from sanding or any type of dust or anything getting down in between the seams, clogging those all up, and then I got to worry about the sealer bonding if I do it afterwards. So very first thing I do is put the seam sealer in right on the epoxy primer. Don't put that on bare steel. Prime it first, then put your seam sealer. You'll have nice clean seams. Won't have to worry about anything bonding or trying to adhere to dust or anything if anything got in there while you were sanding. So first step is to seam seal the body. So that's what's happening next. Okay, it's been a little bit and the seam sealing is done and it's dried, and I've got some filler work done. I picked up that patch right there where the two floors met, because we've got this 1/8 inch floor meeting into the 18 gauge sheet metal. So both sides need a little bit of filler. Around this Jeep here where I welded that in, it needed a lot of filler. I had a big patch in here that needed some filler. This whole area has been replaced. It looks like a lot of filler, but this is super thin. Most cases it's not even a 1/16 of an inch thick. I put it on there just to see where I was, and like this area here, you know, it's super thin. And same thing on the other side. Around the neck here where I put some new metal in, and over here where the Jeep is in there, looks like a lot of filler, but like I say, it's super thin. Put it on and took a lot off. You can see where that patch comes through in here. This is all new metal here. So I tried to save as much of this tub as I could. And when you do that, you sometimes have some weld joints that you have to take care of. If you don't abuse the filler and use it to shape your panels, actually, you know, and you start building up real thick, that causes trouble. But if you use it as it's supposed to be used properly, it works fine. There's no harm in using it. You just need to use it correctly, and it'll last a good long time, and take care of all your welded in joints and stuff like that. So I don't know if you can hear it or maybe see it out there. I don't know, that rain's really creeping up on me again, starting to pour out. And usually at the end of the day, I don't like to leave any bare metal showing. Now this has taken about, I would imagine 8 or 9 hours to get to this point. All the seam sealing, all the filling, and the filler is just rough right now. I haven't done any fine detail work or anything like that, or taking it down. It's left right in 80 grit. I'll take it a little bit further than that before I get crazy and start putting primer on here. But right now I'm going to shoot another coat of epoxy primer, and I'm going to reduce it down a bit to make it like a sealer. It'll dry fast, and it'll keep any of my bare steel areas from rusting. Had a big patch here behind the windshield mount bracket, and you see I sanded and I have a lot of bare metal there now, and I'm not going to leave that overnight. So I have it mixed, and I give it a half hour or so to activate, and then I will shoot a sealer coat on here and see if we have any more little areas that need to be taken care of, and if there is, put another little bit of filler on there and then get into primer. But all depends what this weather is going to do on me. It really is terrible painting weather in the rain, but I'm going to get a coat of sealer on here just for rust purposes. So that's what's coming next, and I'll be back with you and show you what that looks like in just a little bit. Okay, there we are with the sealer on, and now we're protected on the bare steel from any corrosion or anything. Body is coming out pretty straight. Kind of dark on this side, but I think you get the idea. So we started sandblasted with a sandblasted body, epoxy primer right on there, a round of body filler to smooth everything out and take care of all the little patches that were put into this body, and then a coat of epoxy, still epoxy primer, but I reduce it down about 30% to make it a sealer. So we've got one round of sealer on here, and I probably won't get back to this until Monday. This weekend, tomorrow's Saturday, I've got to cut up half a beef steer that's been put down. So I know I don't have too many local viewers, but we are going to have burger day one day where we're just going to kind of hang around, cook some burgers, and you know, talk Jeeps, talk machinery, stuff like that. Anybody local is welcome to come. If I have any local viewers and you're wondering when that's going to be, just shoot me a comment. And like I say, you know, half a steer produces quite a few, well, quite a few packages of ground beef there. So there'll be plenty of burgers for everybody. So that's going to probably take up my weekend, and I'll get back on this on Monday. And the forecast, as usual, is for rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I will be fairing the body out a little bit more, and I don't know, I may or may not get into priming and sanding. Just depends on how terrible the weather is. But I'll keep moving on this and other projects, and if you like the videos, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment if there's anything you'd like to see, and as always, you know, I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.